extension to remain head coach of the Golden State Warriors, ending weeks of uncertainty after a disappointing season and play-in tournament exit. ESPN's Wright Thompson, who had unprecedented access to Kerr during the offseason, one of the most consequential of his career, has a story out that shows how close Kerr came to walking away from Steph, Draymond, and the dynasty that he helped build. But one magical moment helped change his mind. Check it out.
It went in, and he landed in the front row. Emerging from the fans, pounding his chest, the Warriors now up 3. Down on the other end, Draymond muscled Kawhi Leonard, and as an inbounds pass lobbed in the air towards Leonard, Green swatted it away. The Warriors scored, and soon the clock hit zeros. The team came running, laughing, screaming into the locker room. For one night, we're us, Kerr said. We're champions again. An assistant with a stat sheet said they'd only led for 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Everyone laughed and tried to stay in the moment. Steve looked over at me and spoke quietly, almost a whisper. "I'm not leaving," he said.
Kendrick Perkins didn't leave. He's back with us now. Perk, you know Steve Kerr and the Warriors go way back like 4 flats on a Cadillac. 2 more years on his contract will make it 14 with the organization. So what do you want to see them do this offseason to give the team another chance at a long postseason run?
Well, the first thing that came to mind is that Steph Curry is going to retire in the Golden State uniform because he wanted Steve Kerr back. That's the only coach he wanted to play for. That's first thing first. Now, with that being said, when you have Steph Curry on your roster, the only thing that's on their mind is trying to win another championship. And the only way that you could do that is by unsaying your roster, upgrading, right? Going and get some pieces that's going to fit. And Scooby, when you think about it, what's available out there? What's the most important position in today's game? An elite two-way player. Right, we see OG Anunoby, what he's brought to the New York Knicks. We're watching the Thunder have a team full of those guys. Same with the San Antonio Spurs. Kawhi Leonard is that guy. Kawhi Leonard right now for the Clippers, they have no hope at winning the championship. If I'm the Warriors, I'm looking at what Kawhi did last season, having his best career season offensively and playing over 60-plus games. I'll try to go out, make an offer, and bring Kawhi to Golden State to pair alongside Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, because we don't know what Jimmy's going to look like, especially coming off an ACL injury. Anytime you have Steph Curry available and he's on your roster, you got to continue to go out there and try to land a big fish to bring alongside of him so he can be able to compete in a tough Western Conference to bring home another championship.
Well, let's Beyonce this segment and play a game of dribble, pass, shoot. I'll give you a statement. If you agree, it's shoot. If you disagree, it's pass. If you need to think about it a little bit more, it's dribble. So first, the Warriors are the best landing spot for Giannis. Dribble, pass, or shoot?
Ooh, I gotta pass on this one because Giannis could go a lot of places, right? Golden State is not the best landing spot for him, in my opinion. The best landing spot for him is either Minnesota with Anthony Edwards or the Celtics with Jason Tatum. Giannis on either one of those rosters upgrade.
She's so smart. She's so good at it. Okay, congrats, Mina. We'll be watching, and we're rooting for you, obviously, as well. To end the show, the Bucks, we know this. They have said that they are open to trading Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now it just feels like an inevitable situation. Very unlikely he stays in Milwaukee, although still a possibility. What team should be open to trading right now for Giannis? Are the Celtics the best fit there? Perk.
You're damn right it is. For Jaylen Brown. And that's all basically you're going to have to give up because he make a lot of money. Can you imagine Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Eastern Conference in Celtic green? They would be the best duo in the East. And what we saw from Jason Tatum when he returned from injury, is that he's ready to be that point forward. Because yes, he could score. We saw the rebounds, but we also saw the assists. And I heard he did an interview yesterday with somebody else, not Jaylen Brown. He did an interview and he said he want to win another championship and another Finals MVP.
And a Finals MVP because he didn't win the Finals.
Yeah. So Boston, Brad Stevens, pick up the phone.
Yeah, I don't know why Milwaukee would make that trade for Brown. I mean, they need younger players and draft picks. Getting Jaylen Brown, they win 42 games. He'll play great, but they're going to be in purgatory. They won't be they'll be in playing games.
Well, you want to get him with assets.
I got to get some draft picks. How about Dylan Harper and a couple picks from the Spurs? Something along those lines. You know, I'm not saying that's the trade, but they need younger players, draft picks who they can build around in the future. Not a guy who's 31, 32 years of age who's got 5 years left in the NBA where they're not going to do anything. So I don't like the trade for them.
Giannis, you want an all-star. You want a guy that's capable of coming up there and giving you some numbers. But you also want a couple of young pieces, a couple of picks, that kind of thing. It's going to take more than just Jaylen Brown to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. We understand that. But if you are the Milwaukee Bucks, you have to move in a different direction. And if you're the Boston Celtics, you most certainly have. It can't be live by the three, die by the three. You have to have some level of versatility, some kind of interior presence as well to complement Jason Tatum and not put that load on him as well. I think you have to look at it from that standpoint.
I'm going to tell you another.
Just to clarify, though, Jason Tatum said those things before the playoffs started. Okay,
but let me tell you something. Let me tell you another team. Minnesota falls short. If I'm Minnesota, I'm going after Giannis. You got to find a way to keep Anthony Edwards happy.
That's right.
Like, he can't continue to keep doing his part, and the others around him are not getting it done.
He needs help.
And on top of that, don't let Karl Anthony Towns get to the promised land before him and win the NBA championship after they traded him. The Heat is really go beyond.
Because you have to remember, as you watch Wemby do what he does, Karl Anthony Towns would clearly have been a better fit for Minnesota than Julius Randle. Now, in defense of Minnesota, Wemby wasn't here yet. You know, you didn't know this was going to be like this. But the point is, Karl Anthony Towns complimenting Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert would have been much better against San Antonio than what we're seeing.
But that was the financial thing, too, right? Because Randle was making less money than Karl Anthony Towns was. Wasn't that part of the deal with the reason they made that trade?
Yeah, I mean, it has something to do with it, but still, no. If he delivered, he deserved to get.
Could the Warriors really pull off Jaylen Brown? That is the question that sounds crazy at first, until you actually look at where Golden State is right now. Stephen Curry is still here. The window is still alive, but it is not wide open anymore. Jimmy Butler is part of the plan. Draymond Green's future always brings emotional questions, and the Western Conference is not slowing down for anybody. So if the Warriors are serious about one more real run, not just a nice regular season story, not just another maybe if everything goes right year, then a name like Jaylen Brown is exactly the kind of name that forces the front office to pick a direction. But let's be honest from the start, this is not a simple signing. This is not Golden State calling Jaylen Brown, offering a normal contract and bringing him to the Bay like a free agent bargain. No, Brown is a Celtic. He is under a massive contract. Boston does not just give away a Finals MVP level wing because another team wants to dream. If the Warriors want Jaylen Brown, this would have to be a trade, a real one, a painful one. The kind of trade where fans lose players they love, picks disappear, young talent gets discussed, and the whole NBA stops to check the notification. And that is why this story is so powerful, because Brown is not just a star name. He is the exact type of player Golden State has been missing when the game gets physical. He is 6'6", strong, explosive, capable of creating his own shot, attacking the rim, guarding wings, and surviving playoff pressure. He does not need to be protected. He does not need to hide. He can take contact, force his way into the paint, score in isolation, and bring a level of athletic force the Warriors have not had next to Curry in years. Now, imagine this version of Golden State with Curry bending the defense on one side and Jaylen Brown attacking the weak spot on the other. That is not just pretty basketball. That is pressure. That is a defense being pulled in two directions. If teams trap Curry, Brown can punish the rotation. If teams load up on Brown, Curry gets airspace. If defenses switch, Brown can attack mismatches. If they stay home, Curry runs them through screens until the possession breaks. That is the type of offensive pairing that makes a playoff defense uncomfortable before the ball is even inbounded. But here's the hard part. What would Boston even want? Because if you are the Celtics, you are not trading Jaylen Brown for a soft package. You are asking for serious value. For the Warriors, that means salary matching becomes the first problem. Draymond Green could be mentioned. Jimmy Butler could be mentioned. Young players like Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Guy Santos, draft picks, maybe that number 11 pick, maybe future first-rounders. This is not cheap. This is not clean. And the front office would have to ask a brutal question. Is Jaylen Brown worth breaking part of the current Warriors' identity? My answer, if Brown is actually available, yes, Golden State has to explore it. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, because Curry's final years deserve a real second star who can carry weight on both ends. The Warriors cannot keep asking Curry to be the system, the engine, the rescue plan, and the miracle all at once. Brown would give them a bridge between now and the future. He helps Curry today, and he can still matter when the Curry era finally slows down. That is rare. The risk is obvious. Brown's contract is huge. The price would hurt. Boston may not even want to move him. And if they do, other teams will jump into the conversation immediately. Golden State would not be bidding alone. But if there is even a crack in Boston's plan, if the Celtics decide they need to reshape the roster, if Brown ever becomes truly available, the Warriors cannot be passive. They have to be aggressive. They have to make the call. They have to at least force Boston to say no. Because Jaylen Brown in blue and gold would not be a minor upgrade. It would be a declaration. It would say the Warriors are not ready to fade quietly. It would say Curry still has a real co-star. It would say Golden State is trying to build a bridge from the dynasty into the next era without falling off a cliff. So, can the Warriors really get Jaylen Brown? Realistically, it's difficult. Financially, it's complicated. Politically, Boston has to be willing. But basketball-wise, the fit is serious, the need is real, and if Golden State wants one more scary move before the Curry clock gets too loud, Jaylen Brown is the kind of target that makes the whole league pay attention. Now, I want to hear from Dub Nation. Would you give up Draymond, young players, and picks to bring Jaylen Brown to the Warriors? Or is that price too dangerous for Golden State's future? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe for more Warriors news, rumors, and real debate.